Away from his summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin, many are curious about Trump's strategy going into the talks. Today, Trump was asked if there will be consequences for Russia if no progress is made after the talks. Here's how Trump responded.
There will be consequences. Sanctions, tariffs? There will be, I don't have to say, there will be very severe consequences, yes.
European allies, including Ukraine, have been calling on Trump to include Kyiv in the peace progress. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is not scheduled to attend the talks on Friday, but Trump now says it's possible that there will be a trilateral meeting shortly after Friday's summit.
If the first one goes okay, we'll have a quick second one. I would like to do it almost immediately, and we'll have a quick second meeting between President Putin and President Zelensky and myself if they'd like to have me there. And that would be a meeting where maybe it could be absolutely work. But the first meeting will not work that out. Certain great things can be gained in the first. It's going to be a very important meeting, but it's setting the table for the second.
And earlier, President Trump completes a phone call with Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky and other European allies this morning. This comes just 2 days before Trump is scheduled to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin. NTD's international correspondent Arian Pasdar has what the Europeans say about their call with Trump.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky was in Germany on Wednesday. Him and various other European leaders had a phone call with President Trump. This comes just 2 days before Trump is scheduled to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Here's what Zelensky says about the upcoming meeting.
I
told the U.S. president that Putin is bluffing. He's currently trying to put on pressure along all parts of the Ukrainian front. Russia is trying to show that it can occupy all of Ukraine.
Zelensky spoke alongside the Chancellor of Germany after their call with Trump. The Chancellor says they laid out 5 points they want Trump to keep in mind as he prepares for the summit with Putin.
Ukraine has to be part of future negotiations as soon as more talks are being scheduled. We also want there to be an order to the negotiations. A ceasefire has to come before anything else.
He added 3 more points. One is that Europe is not open to acknowledge Russia's occupation of Ukrainian territory, saying borders cannot be changed through violence. Another point is that negotiations must include security guarantees for Ukraine, so Kyiv can keep defending itself in the future. This includes being able to count on support from the West. The last point the Chancellor made is that pressure on Russia has to be increased if no breakthrough is made after the talks on Friday. French President Emmanuel Macron was on the call as well. He later said he supports Trump's main objective of Friday's meeting.
President Trump was very clear on the fact that the United States wants to obtain a ceasefire during this meeting in Alaska. We support this initiative.
NATO Chief Mark Rutte also joined Wednesday's conversation. He says he appreciates Trump's leadership and close coordination with allies. The ball is now in Putin's court. Arian Pasdar, NTD News.
As the Trump administration makes another push to end Russia's war in Ukraine, Vice President J.D. Vance capped off his trip to the United Kingdom by addressing U.S. troops today at the Royal Air Force Base Fairford.
What you guys do, even though you may not see it every single day, is you make it possible. You make it possible for us to accomplish the president's goals through negotiation. You make it possible for us to go into a room and say, yes, we want peace. Yes, we want to work together. Yes, we'd like to bring an end to this terrible conflict, but we've also got some great airmen.
Prior to the address, Vance spoke to President Trump. The president told him that the administration's goal is to bring peace to Europe once again. Vance, a former Marine himself, is in the UK. He is encouraging European allies to take more ownership in ending the war. Vance said to European leaders that the U.S. is done funding the war. He added that they should be willing to play a more direct and financial role. Data from the Council of Foreign Relations shows that Congress has passed measures totaling at least $175 billion in aid spending to Ukraine since 2022.
If you look at the long sweep of history, every time something big happens for the world, every time a great victory is won for freedom and for peace and for prosperity, it is almost always the Brits and the Americans that do it together, and we win every single time.
Meanwhile, a federal appeals court today has lifted an injunction that required the State